Today's pretty much my first day of work.
I'm ready to make a movie, and I'm not quite sure how to go about it at this scale, but I gotta go make a movie.
And who are you contacting?
It's my office. So I'm not really contacting anyone.
Leno was on Wednesday. Every single person I've pretty much ever known has either emailed me or called me. It's been just an experience.
The whole floor is us, so feel comfortable with the
Place is huge. Chris Moore is the executive producer. He's the guy who's pretty much running the show. Kind of the captain of the ship.
Meet Pete Jones, the winner.
Hi, Mia.
This is Mia.
How you doing?
Directors work so hard. As hard as you have ever worked, triple it, and that's what it is to direct a movie.
Right. Thank you.
He's gonna be fried. You know, he's gonna be fried.
Yeah. What is that? My script you guys are putting through here? Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that.
We gotta get some actors.
I can come by and help you guys with this.
No, you can't. Fortunately, you got other stuff to do.
Nice to meet you guys.
Pete's new. You're always nervous about a first-time director. Can he do it? How's he gonna do it? He's never been on a set before, so, you know, we'll see. Tell me if you need it.
And you got a first-time director, and it's a big risk because even really good directors can struggle.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you, Pete.
Project Greenlight launched a competition for amateur filmmakers. After a lengthy selection process, Pete Jones, a struggling writer from Chicago, was chosen as the winner and given the chance to fulfill his dreams, directing a feature film based on his script. Chris Moore, Ben Affleck, and Matt Damon are producing it. Miramax Films has put up a $1 million budget and will release it in theaters. Now, Pete must direct his movie. This is Project Greenlight.
I'm on time.
I was trying to act like I'm here, I'm a professional, let's do this.
Been here for 5 minutes.
Well, the clock in your office is different. I went to your office because nobody told me where I was supposed to be.
I'm not talking about you in particular.
In that first meeting, it was just Pat Peach, Chris Moore, Jeff Bayless, myself. The main point was, can we do this movie in Chicago? And can we set 1976 as the time that it takes place in?
Well, we're looking good on the,
Chicago front?
yeah, the first thing I did was checked out the weather. It's rainy.
Yep.
We're gonna get rain.
I wrote this movie with Chicago in mind as a setting. I know Chicago. It's home. So that's a security blanket.
If the film commission is supportive, what we need to do is just write a letter to Mayor Dale and just say, look, this is what we're doing.
I know that I can sit at the table and I've got ideas, but like in the back of the mind, you're like, can you believe you're actually sitting here with these people talking about your movie?
A lot of these meetings, there's gonna be stuff for you to do.
Yep.
I'm just worried. You don't seem to be a guy who takes notes or do anything like that. Do you remember all that kind of
It's
stuff?
right up here.
Okay.
We'll see.
Did you get
It's photographic.
But you can write notes down. It's all right.
Yeah, I know.
If,
I'm just looking at this right now. I'm going to go back to the computer and rewrite this.
I think that's a cue.
Yeah.
Cue to start writing.
no, it's not. I think the right thing to do today is let you sort of hang in your office a little bit and spend some time with the script. Think about what you might want to change or fix.
Act cool, you're under control. You know, don't let on that underneath you just want to get up and start screaming.
I just want to remind you that this movie was a 36-day, $2.2 million movie in the best of all worlds.
I think this movie could be done for under $15 million.
Well, under 15?
Yeah.
You know, that's because you have all this knowledge and experience. You have no clue about how much time you got to do this movie. I'm telling you.
Pat Peach is the line producer, and the line producer, he's the one that, you know, deals with the budget and evaluates where the money should be spent and that kind of stuff.
It's such a wonderful script, but real trouble. The lead actor is a 7-year-old kid. The co-star kid is 7 years old or 8 years old. So the shooting day would be so restricted that there's no way we'd do this on $1 million budget.
You know, things like the train, a moving train, a working train, it costs way too much money.
Okay.
9 pages in the kitchen with the entire family. That's a shitload of coverage. So, it needs to be thought about.
Well, the budget's starting to skyrocket. Everything you write has a cost to it. And all of a sudden, when you actually make it a movie, you gotta be concerned with.
A cupcake? 5 oranges.
It feels a little like I'm sort of in between a reality and a fantasy world because I still am living a regular life, going to work. I pick up, take Molly to daycare. The only difference is when we used to come home from school at 4 o'clock, he was there.
Hey, can you try to drink?
I still don't know how it's going to change our lives at this point.
She wants a family. I make it try and sound like, she wants family. Ooh, I want one too, and I feel an obligation to make the money and take care of my family.
And she wants to raise them. I mean, it'd be a great deal if we could do that.
We appreciate how important this is for you guys and how passionate you guys are about getting this thing right. We're not saying anything different today than we were saying when we agreed to go forward. We all agreed to make a movie for $1 million, is from what I understand.
He's in a tough spot because it was sold as a $1 million movie and it can't be made for $1 million. You're 100% correct. We all agreed on $1 million. I guess what I can't let go without at least comment is that I said if 2 weeks after we pick Pete and Stolen Summer, I am having a conversation about how do I make this movie for $1 million, I'm going to be livid.
What I think we should move the discussion on to is, well, what can we do with this script, which we love, to figure out how we can get it to $1 million and say, now we've made all these pretty big cuts. Is that script one that everyone is willing to go ahead and shoot?
The truth of the matter is, the big set pieces even, right? You get rid of the fire, and that's $40,000. And you get rid of the 1976, and that's another $60,000, right? Are still going to put you in the realm of $1.5 to $1.8 million, right?
It's going to be a painful process because there's going to be some cuts that need to be made that you're not going to like. You know what I mean?
All of the contestants knew going in that it was a movie that was going to be made for $1 million, and if there are things that they had to cut in order to make it for a budget, that's something that filmmakers have to do all the time.
Isn't the most important thing we have to figure out is where we're shooting the movie?
No, I think we're, with time, my instincts say we might as well just park it in L.A. At this late stage.
Yeah.
I know creatively that may sound pretty bad, but practically speaking, can we pull up stakes right now and get the movie done?
I don't think we're going to shoot in Chicago the whole time. I don't think we may not even be able to save 1976. And that will be the moment we'll see where Pete either sort of falls in, disappears, or he steps up and finds a way to solve the problems and fight and get what he does need to tell the story.
This hour, we're going to talk about something that, it's all about dreams is what it's all about. Pete Jones, whose screenplay won the Project Greenlight contest, will be directing the film. Now, Pete, have you ever directed a film?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I was a stay-at-home dad with the baby going to daycare, so I really didn't do much.
Wow.
Unemployment check was coming in every 2 weeks.
Wow. Relax.
Yeah, no, this is natural getting pictures.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. How's your husband doing?
Oh, he's doing very well.
Yeah. It was basically one of the moms.
Oh.
It was me, the moms, and the nannies.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was my afternoon. We'd sit around and we'd discuss all sorts of baby gadgets.
I don't want to lose sight on the fact that the dreams about being able to write and direct movies that I've always wanted to do. But I gotta be honest, this stuff, the hype and all that, it's a lot of fun.
Good.
We want to set up a couple meetings, 2 or 3 meetings with you and other directors.
I'm so glad you said that.
Sit down and talk about it, so I want to know who you want to talk to.
All right, well, I know this one that you probably you can get, and I definitely would want to talk to because he deals with these things, is Kevin Smith.
Okay.
I need to know from Kevin Smith, how did he do it on no budget? How did he compromise what shots, what you do and what you don't do because of time? How do you deal with Miramax?
Prepare to put on a bunch of weight. It happens.
Yeah.
And then you gain it and it never goes away.
I start this thing at 210. I'm going to finish it at 250.
That's 250 if you're lucky. That's my best advice. Yeah. Get ready to gain weight again.
Right. Your situation was
so much cooler and so much tougher.
Not at all.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
yours was cool. Mine was very low key.
Yeah, but you maxed out the credit card and all that stuff. I'm not trying to be a jackass, like I'm not appreciative of the opportunity they're giving me. But then all the battles that you have, I understand there's art and business and they got to mix them, but geez, what's the
This motherfucker appreciates nothing. Nothing. Let him make a movie. And already he's got a gripe. So usually you wait until about the second film. When your second film bombs, that's when you're like, you know what, it kind of sucks. Don't start yet. Now it's good and happy time.
Yeah, and it is. And I guess the insecurity is, I don't know how to shoot this stuff, and I don't know the language, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy's a jackass, first-time director. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
No, just be a filmmaker. Like with every thought you have, you are a filmmaker. Don't aspire to it. Just you are it right now. Boom, there it is. It's the mindset, and the attitude carry a long way.
All right, so what'd you think? Getting your first set of notes from
I think there's some things that, over my dead body, we can't change it. And I think there's other things in there that that'll make it a better script.
John.
Yes.
How you guys doing?
Good, Pete. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for, not crushing me on these notes.
We thought we'd do it over the phone instead of doing it on paper.
Yeah, I better just shut up on my head.
Did you guys get a copy of Pete's response to the notes?
Yes, we did.
So we're sort of going down those.
All right, great.
I went to the bathroom for a second, which is now a new lesson. Hold it, because you shouldn't go to the bathroom because you might miss something. I came back, and they were talking about changing the time period.
I think when you're making a movie, a low-budget movie for $1 million, and on the time period, it starts to drift into the world of indulgence. Again, I hate to sound cold like this, but I would say you're going to be working on a tight budget, and you're going to have days when you're going to really want that extra money.
Okay, just so you're just talking about the bicentennial. So if it were 75 or 74.
No. I'm talking about the period in general.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Whoa. This is a bigger argument than I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pat. John, are you saying then let's get rid of the whole 70s thing to it, and you want to maybe do it in 2001 because it's easier because of that? What is it we're saying? They meant no. Let's make it 2001. And that's when I forget anyone else is in the room. It's got to be 1976. It changes all the motivation for every character. Again, this is my first time in one of these things, and I do not in any way mean to be disrespectful to any other opinions because they're worthy. I don't see how this movie can be any time but in the 70s, maybe the 60s.
Pete, if we can fit it within the constraints of the budget, go ahead. Nobody's saying don't do it.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this is not something that we're bringing up saying lose this because turning the story. We're saying lose this potentially because it's going to hurt your budget.
This is not putting up a play in your backyard. I mean, there's a lot of money being spent, so the decisions are much harder, and there's sacrifices that both sides have to make.
When you're the one always writing the checks, which Miramax is, you reach a certain point where you feel like nobody's ever grateful, and everybody is always just taking your money. We made a deal for $1 million. They bought into that, big risk on their part, and a day after they picked a winner, we're showing up saying it's 2.5. I mean, at a certain point, they have to, just on principle, tell you fuck off.
I know there's give and take, and obviously budgetary reasons would be something that would stop it. If I had any say, I would push to see whatever we could do to keep it in 76, because I think it's somewhat crucial to the story.
If you can do it, fine.
Okay.
He hasn't given in without fights. And we were all worried, that he was just going to be too nice and just do whatever we told him to do. Now, there's been a couple moments where like, I wish he didn't fight that hard right then.
All right, gang.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
So I know where the battles are. It's going to be 76.
Wow. I was lost on that fight for the first 5 minutes.
Well, you missed the beginning part because you were in the bathroom.
Right.
This movie is 1976. I think creatively, it's a battle that we have to fight.
And if I didn't fight,
Well, you did a good job.
No, but I'm telling you, Chicago, to me, 76 is as important. It's more, I don't want them to know that. 76 is more important than Chicago.
Well, but you may end up in that decision.
Exactly.
Just prepare yourself for
The
L train in the lake.
No Chicago 76.
It's a shitty deal.
Not all the deals you're gonna get in here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a cakewalk. How about a church?
What?
Using a church, is there a cost involved with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What if we X that out? I know we'll be able to get a church for free.
It's great that you're coming up with those things, but don't horse trade until you know the person on the other end is willing to horse trade. I've been down roads, not just with Miramax, but with all the studios, where you call up and say, I know I can get a church for free, so I want 76, and they say, no, we're not going to trade for that, but we'll still take the church for free.
Right.
And then you've now, fucked yourself. The moment for the 76 fight will probably be 2 or 3 weeks from now when we know much more about the cast, because the area where all studios are open is casting.
Casting is an interesting thing because it actually affects everything that we've been talking about. It affects, if you get big movie stars, you get more money.
Aiden Quinn's available in New York.
Available in New York?
Let me see. F. Mary Abraham could play the fire. Yeah.
Joseph Middleton, who's the casting director, is a genius. He's somebody who I worked with on American Pie and American Pie 2, and he loves it. He loves what he does.
You know who would be great? Stanley Tucci.
My biggest challenge in Stolen Summer is putting together this Irish family. You have 8 children, a mother and father.
Oh, okay. Joan Cusack and Kelly Lynch are not with William Morris.
Just so you know, FYI to you, is Taylor Leone's not available. She's doing Woody Allen, this movie.
Well, Taylor Leone's doing okay. Sometimes someone will bring up a name that I haven't thought about, and you're like, oh, great. Sometimes it works the other way around.
Can you imagine Juliana Margulies with 8 kids? I can't. Nope. Aiden Quinn would be great.
They want to go to Aiden Quinn, who I think is terrific. He's got those icy blue eyes. I think he'd be great. But let's just shoot for the moon. I think Sean Penn would be the greatest.
I just spoke with Chris. We want to hold on offering it to Aiden Quinn till Monday. We want to offer it to Sean Penn.
The next thing I know, I'm writing a letter to Sean Penn.
Hi, babe. I'm still not out of here. I got to write a letter to Sean Penn. And so I got to get this out today. Is that all right?
I got to get home to take care of Molly so Jenny can go out for her birthday. So what do? I can't mess up the letter to Sean Penn. This is my shot.
Are Mark and Michelle home? I think they're back in town.
Ended up, Jenny left at about 7. So some neighbors stayed and watched Molly until I got home.
There's going to be confusion about, people are going to wonder, well, what do Jews really believe?
These are your notes?
Yeah.
And but just somewhat similar to Miramax's?
My job is to creatively give notes and do what I can to help them make the best movie.
Page 110?
The Danny thing?
Yeah. I'll fight him to the death on that. I'll tell you why. Telling the
I feel
revenue.
like that bit is heavy-handed. Just that's passing that on.
That line has moved more people than any other line in the whole thing. What happens in the script is Pete says to the rabbi, Rabbi, if Jewish people are uncomfortable praying to Jesus because they're uncomfortable with the name Jesus, well, why don't you just come up with your own name to represent the good that Jesus represents, but don't use the name Jesus.
Instead of praying to Jesus, they should pray to Danny?
You guys don't like the term Jesus, so let's call him something else.
But that means pray to Danny.
No, call him Danny.
I don't, there's sort of like a couple points in there.
I think Jeff Bayless didn't understand what I was trying to get at.
I just felt like, are we praying to Danny? To me, I read it was like, Danny should be the Jewish Jesus.
No.
I did. You know what? It didn't really bother me that much.
Right.
But I sort of just took it as like, kind of, oh, he's, that's kind of cute that he said that. But
right.
Not really understanding what he meant by it. And once you've explained it, now I definitely don't understand it.
You guys are cutting my ass up.
Pete?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Hey. I looked through the facts that I got on all the casting selections.
Uh-huh.
Outstanding.
Well, you know what? It all starts with your script, buddy. So
the script that I'm rewriting right now.
Don't let him change it too much.
Okay.
So I guess the first thing we should talk about is Emma Thompson for Margaret.
Okay.
Because I know that, because what we'd like to do is get you to write a letter today. and you know, let her know how you feel about her and that you love her work.
I think Emma Thompson would be amazing.
She hasn't read the script,
Right.
but I think that we could make it appealing to her. So let's offer it to her.
Right.
But let's continue.
You shoot for a few people that you don't think you're ever really going to get. Sometimes you hit people on the right day. I mean, Robin Williams did Good Will Hunting.
Do you want a cookie?
No, thank you. Those are Girl Scout cookies, though, even better. You should put them in the freezer.
Wait a minute, though. Aren't they like homophobic or something? Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, aren't they?
Are they?
I think so. I'm not eating that. Yeah, I'm not eating a cookie that's homophobic.
Jeff, can you try and get Joseph Middleton on the phone for me and Pat?
Hey, Joseph?
Hey.
Hey, I got Chris for you.
Oh, great.
Hey, dude.
Hey.
Pete just finished the letter to Emma Thompson, which I think is a pretty funny and sweet letter.
Great.
And are you sending the script out? So should we get the letter to you?
This is what my suggestion is. Why don't you have him add one scene for Margaret?
Yeah.
Just pump it up a little.
Okay.
So that while she's reading it.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that, you know, it will remain in there.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, it's something creatively that we should consider.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? So that we give our best shot at her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If I can get Emma Thompson to say yes, I know Harvey will let me have $2 million.
Pat, we didn't hear anything from Emma.
Not yet. That's good. No news is always good news there.
Welcome. I don't belong to that philosophy.
You think she wants to read your script tonight? Because she just got it? Because she can't wait? She's Emma Thompson, man.
I don't understand why she didn't call me.
Maybe it was the perfume you put on that letter you sent her.
Ah! I mean, just think, we get her to say yes, and Chicago could become more of a reality.
Yeah. But that...
And more importantly, the movie will be better.
There's 200,000 in cuts I can make just to bring it down. Chris, I think they're like pennies in the grand scheme. Does pennies really fucking matter, is the question.
Of course they do, Pat.
No, I'm asking you in terms of...
But I'm answering you. You've been on the calls. I mean, right now, all of those people are telling them $1 million.
Yeah.
So every penny above $1 million.
Right, but once the resolve is that we're not going to be close to that,
that's not going to be the resolve, Pat. You seem to be waiting for this moment when all of a sudden they say, all right, fuck it, we're going to do it for $2 million. But I believe that Bob and Harvey are going to stay hard.
Yeah.
So I need you really to be thinking about what are the best solutions creatively for us to get closer to $1 million. I'm just trying to get us to the point where we're actually in making the movie.
Yeah.
Because the problem here is we're still not even at that point.
I know.
We're still fucking around with what the number's going to be.
I know. It's very frustrating.
By page 85, you've created a great dilemma. You've created a great battle. You've created a great relationship between two kids and their fathers. And I just think from page 85 on, you're underselling the resolution. And I have one big note with it. And I don't know how you're going to deal with it, so I'll just say it, which is, I think you got to have Danny Shiva. Danny Shiva is going to give the audience time to mourn the fact that the person died. What I would argue is, if you're not going to have it, you got to get rid of the wake and the Shiva at the beginning. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is how strongly I sort of want to just discuss it.
When I get mad, my face gets red, my eyes water, and I want to fight. I'm against the Shiva because I don't want to do overkill. And what you're saying is I'm doing an underkill.
Yeah.
And so I want to find a happy medium. But I don't.
But I also think
I feel like
the first question every review is going to be, what the fuck happened when Danny died? All I'm really trying to say to you is there's an arc here and a storyline that ventures into did he or didn't he get into heaven? What happens with death, really? Does Pete believe? Because what you're left with is, does Pete believe he's in heaven or not? That's what the whole movie is about. And I think you overkill some points, I think, by him suggesting Danny be the name that they pray to is almost too much overkill for me. Pete's sort of all shucks attitude was a little bit of a game. He's not that innocent. He's more confident now being the director of the movie than I thought he would be at this stage. And I think he still wants to make his version of the movie, and so some of the rewrites and some of the other things have been less than perfect. Unfortunately, I really do have to go. I thought it was only 10 o'clock. So.
Before you leave, did you hear about Emma?
No.
She passed.
What'd she say?
She doesn't want to work right now.
Okay.
That was what Nicole David said. So,
We'll talk about it later. Think about this, Pete. We'll talk about it again. I'm sorry that I'm...
No problem. All right.
Ben, by the way, Pete, I realized that I need to see the moment when Danny dies. I need to see the life leaving his body.
Ah, the shiver. Fuck me. I can't articulate why I don't want it. It's just a gut. The arguments between us is the arguments of style, and that he wants more moments, and I want less moments.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, that you talk about, it's the dilemma of experience. I don't have it, he does, but who's right?